You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
We're grown-ass men, so we don't wear Halloween costumes, but hello, it's Friday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill, Friday edition of Leafs Morning Take, presented by Bet365. Vibes are high in Blue Jays Nation, not as much for the Maple Leafs. We'll get to that story, but how are you, Rosie?
Pretty good, man. Yeah, thank God for the Jays right now. But no, I was up a little early, putting some face paint on my kid, getting some stuff organized. I got to put a big old thing of pork in the slow cooker because everyone's having pulled pork sandies while the kids head out from my house for trick-or-treating. And we got the projector going on the driveway, watching the Jays game. So it's kind of a sweet little evening.
Tell you what, the TLN group chat is in dire straits right now. I woke up today. I couldn't believe what was coming out of the chat today. Then I got a picture of the standings, the Maple Leafs in last place in the Atlantic Division, just how we drew it up here in the month of October. But first and foremost, I don't want to bury the lead. I was a bit surprised that you showed up today and your head was small enough to be on the screen. You got the Chicklets bump. Spitn Chicklets guest, Jay Rosehill in my presence. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was fun. Those guys, between, Wit and Biz, they know what they're doing, man. They drove the interview and I don't know, kind of got lost in telling stories and bullshit. I hope I didn't tell too much, but no, we've been trying to kind of line that up for a while and timing was wrong for one reason or another. And yeah, jumped on Chicklets. So I didn't know it was out until you just told me you listened to the interview already. So it has dropped apparently. And yeah, we'll see how that goes though. But it was fun to do. Those guys know what they're doing. Like I said,
the audio part's out. I think the video part will come out today. But one of the stories, not to give away too much, but the stripper story, I think you told that first year on this podcast, but you left out the part where you actually were in jail for 36 hours. That's the most important part of the story. And maybe you're just dipping your toe in the water this whole podcast life, but you conveniently left that part out of that story when you told it on this show.
Yeah, I feel like I've never fully given her, and then they told me just let her all fly out there. So I figured Chicklets was the time to do it. But yeah, little mishap in my younger days, kind of not thinking with my brain all too good. But yeah, I ended up in the clinker for a little while, but sorted it out eventually. I got out.
My favorite part of that story was you were like, I wasn't sure if I was headed into Gen Pop and going to have to ghost somebody right away to set a tone, or was I going to be somebody's bitch? I was like, oh, okay.
No middle ground. I mean, I was either going to act like a complete bitch or I was going to make some noise as soon as I got in there. All I know is the movies. So yeah, I had to face some adversity there for a little while and had to think of some serious stuff. But yeah, kind of a funny story looking back. Even my kids are just like, did you do? And I'm like, no, the media blew that one up. It's not all true, which is true. But yeah, some things these days, kids, lesson learned. Things don't get wiped from the internet.
They definitely don't. And yeah, no, I thought it was an awesome job by the boys, just a round table on your life story. And we got some shout outs in that interview too. Yeah, I heard my name a couple times. Randy Carlisle, your favorite, got some shout outs. Dallas Eakins, like you, nothing but the hits from you, man.
Yeah, that was the plan. Steve Sterling, the coach that just, I look and just go like, how could your job be to get prospects of an NHL organization to get to the NHL, and that's what you did? Like you got a paycheck and you did the things that you did. I told some stories about how tough it was in the minors and how some coaches just wrote you off and ruined your confidence and tore strips off you and did everything they could to make it hard on you. Like it's not hard enough playing the pro hockey game and trying to make your way. But yeah, it was fun to go dig up some memories from the past, and not all of them good, but all of them got us here today, Nick.
I love it. I don't want to ruin too much. Go check out the content over at the Spitn Chicklets platform, wherever you catch your stuff, whether it's YouTube, wherever. Honestly, wherever. Those guys do a fantastic job. Our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and third in the world. Why does it feel like this Maple Leafs game on Saturday night, just a random ass game in Philadelphia, your former stomping grounds, feels massive? Like I look at the standings, granted, again, our group chat's always off the rails, but today specifically, last place in the Atlantic Division. This is a massive game. They got to win in Philadelphia, man.
Do they? I don't know. They might see it differently.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of talking about them. What's wrong with them and what do they need?
Yeah.
And everyone going, it's the lack of Marner. Yeah, the lack of Marner is why they've been playing.
I don't
the
buy
way they
that.
have been, but it would be nice if they climbed out of this hole and gave us something a different look and open the door to talk about something different. But I thought Columbus was kind of a big game. We've kind of said big game. There's no must wins in October. Let's be honest. There is no must wins. And yeah, they're in the bottom of the Atlantic, but they're like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 points away from being like right there. So it's all just smudged up and kind of log jammed, and some are doing good and some are doing bad. And I think that will probably correct itself. Bottom line is the standings will not look like they do right now on April 1st. That's just, I'll guarantee you that. So I'm not looking at it or worried about it, but it's annoying that we have to talk about their dog shit performances day after day after day. And hopefully Saturday's a different story in Philly. Like the numbers on Toronto versus Philly are very much.
You see those? You see those?
It's like crazy. And I'm coming around. Like, I have always been like, dude, don't tell me what they did 3 years ago against Team XYZ. It matters nothing. It's a different team. It's a different coach. Like, don't even bother me with that shit. But in now entering our 4th year of this pod, I'm like, God, there are some serious patterns that exist. One of them being last game, having at least 5 goals scored against you by the Columbus Blue Jackets, like clockwork. And I'm like, no, I doubt it. But 6-3 loss or whatever the hell it was. So hopefully the trend continues and they can find some good stuff in Philly. Don't know what the lineup's going to be. Some things that are up in the air yet, but again, those patterns and those trends, I'm starting to get on board with them happening. And I'm actually going to take the Leafs heavily against Philly strictly because of the past numbers and trends that are Toronto versus Philly, I think, are in their favor and they're due. So I hope so.
I call this the ghost of Jay Rosehill. The number you're referencing, the Maple Leafs 9-1-0 in the last 10 games against the Philadelphia Flyers. And I'm not normally an eternal optimist. A pessimist could say, well, they're due to lose to Philadelphia, but fuck that. Okay. Stanley Cup champions 2026. Again, the bigger story is the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm at a crossroads, man. I truly am. I'm going out for the game tonight. Last minute, my buddy last night, he's like, we should dress up. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me, because I was not prepared for Halloween. I wanted to be AC Slater from Saved by the Bell, but I procrastinate, last minute things. So what do? Do I just show up to this bar tonight? Like, I think it's so weird because the Blue Jays are contending for a World Series, yet it's Halloween. So I think you're going to see a lot of confused Halloweeners tonight.
I know. Halloween crept up on us all, I think, this year. Even my kids are like, I can't believe it's Halloween. Like, we haven't really talked about it. And yeah, it's weird. And it's weird that is there going to be a bunch of people at the game tonight in costumes? Like usually Halloween has this like non-serious.
Producer Vic's going to Rogers Center tonight. Can you see him showing up as like the e-bug for the Montreal Canadiens as stunt double? Like, is that a possibility, you think?
Who the e-bug for the Canadiens?
You remember the joke last year that the goalie looked? I don't know if Vic could find the picture, but the e-bug in Montreal last year looked like producer Vic.
Oh, really? I don't even remember that. I probably missed that day. I would
maybe
love
he goes
to see
as
that.
Drake to the Rogers Center. You know what I'm saying? Like you a grown ass adult can't show up to a watch party at a venue where the team, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's
you
a
go to
weird
the game
mix.
with the floor. There he is. There's Vic.
There he is, the Armenian prince. I love it. Oh, I still have visions of being up on the balcony in Nashville at the Nation Vacation and looking down on Vic all by himself, just bobbing and weaving through the dance floor. That was my favorite memory of Vicky. But no, I don't know. It's weird that the Halloween is usually like a non-serious, like throwaway time of the season, but it's like a clinch the World Series game for our
I
Toronto
know.
Blue Jays. Unbelievably exciting, man. I hope it's whatever. Halloween will probably get lost in the shuffle, and rightfully so. Pretty exciting, man. How about like Vladdy is doing things like Vladdy's doing things that the numbers that are coming out of this Jays team, like Vladdy, his the game's like 150 years old, and he's like one of two people to do this and to do that. And I can't remember now. I was like falling asleep, and I'm like, holy shit! Found this video that was just mind-boggling on how good Vladdy's numbers are right now, and like hardly anyone's really talking about it. You know, Savage is taking a lot of the spotlight, rightfully so. He's doing like historically, like where did this come from, man? Like I know they like are kind of a lunch pail gang that bonds together and gets the job done and drives some runs in, and everyone pulls their weight. That's great, but they're like the, the mighty Dodgers that are like an all-star team have no answer for any part of their lineup, offense, defense, whatever. It's unfucking real, and we have a chance to watch something pretty special tonight. Such a hard one to clinch it, but I'm pretty excited. I'm more excited about that than Halloween, but I guess it's kind of cool they converge together.
Yeah, and it's hilarious. I went home for dinner last night. I don't know if I've said it before on this podcast. My dad's like the world's biggest Blue Jays fan. Okay, like this guy just sits on YouTube. He's retired now. Just sits on YouTube and watches videos about the Blue Jays. Doesn't actually watch the games, which I think is hilarious. He gets too nervous. He can't watch the games. It's actually insane to me. He knows everything about the team, everything about the farm system. Can't watch the games. I'm like, dude, they're in the World Series. But anyways, we're at dinner. He's going on about the future. He's like, Savage is a really good prospect. They got this guy coming. I'm like, Dad, I could not give a fuck. If this team wins one more game, I do not care for 15 years. It's similar to the Raptors, man. There is a grace period with that franchise because they won the NBA title. 15-year, like, automatic grace period. I'm like, I don't care who's coming next year, 3 years from now. I don't care if the entire team leaves. You bring a World Series back to Canada, back to Toronto. That's the story. But I just thought it was hilarious. And it's funny, like my mom's not a sports fan at all, even though I played sports. My brother played sports our entire lives. And she's even talking about it at dinner. Like we're breaking down how the hell this all happened. Because me and my dad before the year were like, this team is not looking good. This is going to be difficult. But literally everything has come together, including the Vladdy Guerrero deal. If you recall, any Jays fan, 2 years ago, they could have signed him at $300 million, dude. They waited and signed this guy for $500 million. He was playing like a $200 million player for the majority of the season. All of a sudden, it gets to playoffs, bomb, 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 hit, 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 hit. Like it makes no sense, but they're getting the value out of that contract, if you can believe it too, man. It's been such a magical ride, but never underestimate the heart of a champion, heart of a lion, man. The Dodgers, they won the World Series. They've won plenty of World Series in their time, even in the last couple of years. They're going to show their best, I think, and you got to win one more here.
And I do like how like nobody, like not the guy fucking making my sub in downtown is like jinxing it or saying like we got this thing or we're the better team or Dodgers have nothing. No one's saying that. Like everyone is hyper aware that like this isn't over, which is it's so odd to see fans be so professional about it because everyone, like no one's putting the cart before the horse, right? And that's kind of rare in this situation with everything that's going on. And maybe that's the Dodgers, the mighty Dodgers track record or whatever. But like, goddamn, this is going to be a hard game to win. And then if you go to a game 7, it's anybody's. Like it is not over as much as the Jays seem like they're in the driver's seat. God, would it be devastating if they didn't? But back to what you said earlier, like
don't even talk about it.
Imagine, I'll switch subjects, but if the Leafs won a cup, like imagine running that team after, like for the next 5 years after that, it would just be easy street, right? They'd be living off of that, like fucking 60 years in the making, and you win one, you could just cruise. Like the payroll after that would just be like, we are all so safe. Like nobody's on our case. Nobody cares. Yeah, draft everybody, tank, bomb, get some draft. No one would care. It'd be so easy. But right now is like the worst. There's so much, I don't know, pressure and eyeballs and scrutiny, and people write them off so fast. And sometimes you think rightfully so. And you just wonder what it would be like if they actually got over the finish line.
I was even thinking about today's guest, Joe Bowen, the legendary Joe Bowen, dropping by in about 45 fucking years on this job. And all this guy wanted was a Maple Leaf Stanley Cup to call a Maple
Can you
Leafs
imagine
game in the
not
Stanley
getting one in
Cup.
45 years?
I'm
45
not
years.
going to touch that. I'm not asking him about that, man. You've got to think there's a level of jealousy watching what the Blue Jays are doing right now, watching what the Raptors did, covering this team. Like, man, Joe Bowen is the best, but that has to haunt this guy, man.
Yeah, God, that's like, there's not many. 30 years is like this career of like, my goodness. And then let's just do it. Let's do 50% of that again. And 45 years, you would think, how many organizations, I wonder, go 45 years without, a championship, like not even a final, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to
A lot
do.
more teams now, but I get it.
Nonetheless, wild, but we'll
Yeah.
pick his brain. And, he's got the best seat in the house, some would say. And, sometimes when a guy is struggling or whatever, the game's so much different from the ice than up top, but the bird's eye view up in the press box to look down, it's so easy, and you can see what's going wrong or right so easily. And it'll be good to get his perspective on what's been going on this season and what he thinks about it exactly, as it is a special season for him, that is for sure.
Joe's getting roasted on November 14th too. That
I
should
know,
be
like
good.
who? Like who's roasting him?
So Jim Ralph, his son Jesse Ralph, who I actually worked with over at NHL Network Radio, he's an aspiring comedian, has been for I think the last 5 to 7 years. So I think, don't quote me on it, but I think Jesse is like the prime principal in all this. Like, I think he's probably emceeing this thing. But for anybody who knows Jim Ralph, he is one of the funniest dudes I've ever met in the industry, man. He is going to roast Bonesy alive. Like, that's a big question I got for Bonesy coming up. It's like, what possessed you to agree to this? Because they're going to rip him to shreds. And I wonder what's off limits in that conversation. I mean, everybody's got demons. Everybody's got a past, but this is going to be good. So Joe Bowen coming up in about 15 minutes here or so on Leafs Morning Take at the Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take, wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. This following opening segment is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the first of its kind. The Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand. So you can cook big or small batches. Just prep it, crisp it, serve it, and store it all in one.
How long before we get a rap song with that Ninja Crispy beep in it? Because that is catchy. It is catchy stuff. This glass air fryer is PFSA free, thus no harmful chemical while cooking. It includes a small 6-cup and a larger 4-quart Tupperware container. Whether you're whipping up quick single-serve meals in 7 minutes, sharing crispy snacks on the go, or serving a crowd, the Ninja Crispy makes it easy. Cleanup is simple as well. Check out the link in the episode description or go to sharkninja.ca. So a couple of hopefuls, I would say, for Saturday. More likely, in my opinion, at least, Chris Tanev returns after missing 3 games. But outside shot, as far as I know, that's Scotty Laughton. Like, he had to have had this game circled on his calendar since the trade last spring, working his way back from an injured foot here.
Scotty Scooty Loots. I don't think he's going to be ready. Like, is there any indication from the team? Obviously, there's never any indication from the team about anything. But I would be surprised, man. Like, just because it's his former team, like, are they just going to ram him in there? Sammy Blaze, to be honest, what do you have? A goal and an assist and like 5 hits and 2 block shots? Like, are you kidding me? For a team that has no fucking heartbeat for the last month, you think you're going to yank him out? Not a chance. I think that alone means like there's no reason to shove Lots back in there. Broken foot. It is broken, right? It's not like a sprain or anything. Like he broke a bone.
They don't tell us anything. Lower body injury. He was wearing a boot. Okay.
I hope it's a break, because I've broken my foot before, and just simple bones got to heal. You're not going to do a bunch of damage when you're doing sprains and tears and all kinds of that stuff. Like, all kinds of other problems come on, and you really got to take your time with it. But one practice for him, I don't know. Like, are you full? You're kind of, once you jump back to practice and you're kind of full. I don't know, man. I'd be surprised if Lots is playing tonight. It feels kind of rushed, and it feels like if they were playing Columbus tonight, we wouldn't really be talking about Lots playing. It's simply the fact that he's it's his former team, and it would be nice to see him, and it would be awesome to get the big bump of him, burying against his former team and all that. But I'm not sure if they're going to rush him in for that. The Tanev thing to me is more enticing. Like, is he ready to rock or not? Steven Lorentz, piling into the boards like that. Like, sometimes guys you're sliding into the boards, and then he puts his head down so he can go head first almost. I think he might have tried to roll onto his shoulder, but sometimes your momentum is taking you into the boards and your weight is on a certain spot where you can't pull yourself away. And you could not go into the boards in a more awkward, scary angle, right? Everyone's nightmare is going in top of your head first and having some kind of spinal injury or something. But it looked really ugly. Yeah. But the fact that he snaps his twig over his knee like Bo Jackson after shows me you're not mangled, and he's probably not that hurt, and I think he'll play. But nonetheless, that impresses the hell out of me. I've never even considered snapping my hockey stick over my knee. I don't humanly think I could do it, yet these guys do it like clockwork all the time. I was shocked to see that. Can you imagine breaking a stick over your knee? Are these new sticks?
No.
They're light, but what?
That was a microcosm, I think, of the early season. He trips into the boards and then a 16-on-1 the other end. I still can't believe we saw a 5-on-1 in an NHL game the other day, man. It was a difficult look the other day. And I'm looking for a response in Philadelphia. That's all I can say at this point, Rosie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have been looking for a few weeks now. Again, October standings don't really matter. They're not going to stay like that for very long. But yeah, it's I just want different. I'm very honestly, every time we look at the breakdown and we do a show, I'm just what do we have left to say? Just show us something finally.
Nothing.
Give us something convincing that we can dig our teeth into. And they've yet to do that. But again, their record against Philly, quite solid. Hopefully that trend continues and we can get some positivity going after Saturday.
And that's why we've summoned today's guest. What else does he have to say after covering this team for 45 years? It is the legendary Joe Bowen joining us here on Leafs Morning Take. Bonesy, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, boys. How are you guys today?
Bonesy, good to see you.
Hey. How's the big fella?
Oh, we're good. It's about time we had you on. My goodness. We've been talking about it for a while, but 45 seasons. My goodness. Does it feel like that long when you say that, or has it kind of gone by in a flash?
Only when I was watching you play. That dragged it on for quite a while, but
that's hard on a guy, isn't it, watching that shit?
Oh, you walked right into that, Jay. Come on now. I mean, really.
I should have known.
No, you know what? It hasn't. It's been a great run. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We've had lots of fun. We haven't had the ultimate prize, but we've come close a number of times. We've had, and as disappointing as the last, 5, 6, 7 years has been, the fact remains they got there, and lots of teams didn't. And so you sometimes you have to kind of sit back and say, it wasn't that bad. It was disappointing, yeah, and it would have been nice to have gone further, but you got to get there to be disappointed. And we're watching a team currently trying to win a World Series that has been a disappointment for a number of years now, and at the beginning of this year was completely written off. So it is sports is a wonderful thing. And if you attach your allegiance to a group, a team in any sport, you got to ride the ups and downs. And trust me, there are a lot more downs than there are ups. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the Leafs can draw inspiration from the Blue Jays and that story. And I won't lie, Bones, you watching the game against Columbus brought back memories. If you remember, of course, spent a couple seasons doing the pre-intermission and post, and that fucking bubble loss to Columbus, man. I just couldn't get out of my head for 2 days. But what's your read on this start for this Maple Leafs team? It is a polarizing question right now in this market.
It is, and thank God the Blue Jays are playing as well as they are, to take a little of the heat off of them anyway. When you look back over the last 4 or 5 years and you look at the month of October, this team usually comes out spinning its wheels, and they really haven't gotten any traction as yet. I think they're looking for their identity. I think they're looking for obviously some consistency, and that starts right from the goaltender on out. Injuries have played a factor, and everything else. I think it's way too early to be, gnashing of teeth and grinding of fists into what they're doing. But they have to get things kind of turned around. There's no two ways about that. They've got to get their act together. They've got to start producing more. They've got to be a lot more consistent, and they've got to be better at both ends of the rink. They've looked slow, and lots of times that's not skating speed; it's puck movement, and that's one of the things I think that has to improve. And once that improves, I think a lot of other things will happen, kind of in a domino effect, if you will.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I've always thought that watching the game up from your perspective in the press box, it's so easy. You can see so many things develop, and everything's really obvious. You've watched a lot of teams and a lot of games from that perspective. On this one, you said they're a little bit slow. A lot of the knock on them right now is like their intensity and the passion, and like, people knock on them for like not showing enough exuberance, or it's not trying, but do you notice them being flat out there? Do you wish you would see more passion and intensity out there? What's your perspective from up in the press box?
I think, Jay, one of the things too, you've got lots of new people, and they're being asked to do a different system or adhere to what the coaching staff is doing. And I remember Harry Neal's great line was, "Don't think you'll hurt the team." And maybe what we're seeing is some people overthinking, trying, instead of the natural progression of reacting and doing things that come naturally to you, are being overshadowed a little bit about, should I be here? Where do I need to be? And then by the time you process something where you're actually thinking instead of naturally reacting, you don't get there, and things don't happen, and the puck stays in, and all of a sudden it becomes a hornet's nest, and things start to fall apart. And so I think that's one of the things. I think they just got to let it go. Do things that you naturally do. Don't overthink the situation. Adhere to the policy of what they want to do as a group and everything else. But I think that maybe sometimes you just kind of overthink it. Sometimes you just got to, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Let's get it going.
You think that's how John Tavares scripted the way his 500th goal would go down? Kudos to you on the call. How difficult is making a call like that in a game like that?
Nikki, I'm embarrassed by the call. I really am. I felt like John, and maybe that's wrong. And I sincerely hope that 501 is a huge goal or opening goal, and I'm going to treat it the way it should have been. I did him a disservice, and I apologize for that. We were upset, we were disappointed, we were frustrated, and you could see that on John's face. He went through the hand tap line and just sat down. There was nothing else. And I suppose maybe sometimes we're too close to it, but that's how I felt. I felt exactly the same way Johnny felt. We'll celebrate this on another time and another occasion, but what a tremendous career, and what a tremendous leader, what a tremendous consistent player this guy has been. And when you add on to that what he has done personally to stay here and try to turn things around and to win here, I'm lost for words, really, about how much we should have, how much respect we should have for this young man and what he has done here in Toronto.
Yeah, without question. I always think about the draft and prospects and general managers not knowing what players are going to do or what they're going to be. And I just always think that if anyone is the template of what a professional is, it's John Tavares without question. going from a veteran like John to a rookie like, say, Easton Cowan. What's your perspective been on Easton Cowan? How has he been? A lot of talk at the beginning of the season about what's better for his development, playing on this team or being in the minors. And he's been on the first line. He's been on the fourth line. What's your thoughts on Easton Cowan and his development and where he's at?
I think he's gotten better each day, to be honest with you, in each game. Yeah, he is kind of bouncing around, and sometimes, depending on the game, a close game, sometimes the coaching staff decides I'd rather have a more experienced hand out there protecting a 1-goal lead or whatever. But you can definitely see the artistry and the intelligence and the creativity that this young man displayed while playing junior hockey in London. And it's only a matter of time. And I think he is another perfect example of what I was talking about, Jay. Thinking too much instead of just reacting and going with his God-given talent. Sometimes you can see him hesitate and look for Matthews as opposed to, you know what, I'm in a pretty good spot here. I should be shooting the puck. And sometimes you to get a player to be a little more selfish, for the lack of a better term, in those situations takes a little bit more experience. But I think he's gotten better. I don't think at this particular point anyway that time in the American Hockey League would benefit him any more than what he's seeing here. He's playing important minutes. He's on the power play. He's doing things of that nature. I think that it's just a matter of getting attuned and acclimed to the National Hockey League and the speed and the size of this league. But I can see that this kid is going to be a real good hockey player and a good producer.
What gives you hope that this team can give you a Stanley Cup send-off this season?
What was that, Nick?
Stanley Cup.
Well, I'm going to get T-shirts made up that just simply say, win one before I'm feckin' done. It's an Irish term. I was over in Ireland, and I heard it a lot over there for the 2 weeks that I was away. Obviously, I mean, it would be a crowning moment. It would be great. But you know what? I can't dream it any more than we have, I suppose. You want to go out with guns blazing and everything else, but when you look back on the entire body of work that I've had, I can't say that I've had a wonderful run. I've had a great time, worked with some outstanding people, and it is what it is. We'll play that card when we get to it, and hopefully we have a full deck going at the end of the year to play a lot of cards.
That sure would be nice. You've seen them all. You've seen all the seasons. What's that one piece that you want to see this team do that you think's holding them back?
Holding them back. You know what? It would be really nice if they got into a game 7 and all of a sudden had Lady Luck kind of sit on their shoulder for once. How many times has that disappointment kind of rocked the franchise? And sooner or later, that's going to turn. Hopefully sooner, in my case, but it will. I'm old enough. I don't remember it because I was being walked because I was fussing. But my dad told me that I listened to Foster tell me that Bill Barilko had scored the winning goal. So I've gone through lots of wins growing up as a kid. I've enjoyed the wonderful runs we had with Clark and Gilmore and Pat Burns and Pat Quinn, where we were as close as damn is to swearing to get to the promised land, but it didn't happen. And one of these days, the hockey gods are going to say, all right, enough's enough. We've tortured them enough. We're going to do something. And I've been a Boston Red Sox fan since back in the early 60s, and I am still a Boston Red Sox fan. The Jays are my second favorite team. I have to go along with that. But you know what 2004 meant to the Boston Red Sox fans? 86 years and down 3-0, and hello, the Yankees lose. And, the rest is history. And something like that will happen to the Maple Leafs, and it'll be a magical run. And whoever has happened to be in the chair doing the games, whether it's me or someone else, it'll be something that will never be forgotten. It'll have this city and this province and a lot of this country going crazy, and it will happen. We just have to hope that it's sooner than later.
Why not us? That is a really good
Why
question.
not
right now
us? Exactly. Why
Hey,
not us?
Let's
4
talk
nights in
November 4th.
October.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great call. But let's talk November 14th. What possessed you to agree to a roast? And just tell us all about that happening.
Well, I played hockey with the Unionville Men's Hockey League for the better part of 40 years, and I've just hung the goalie pads up here last year. Hips and shoulders, I've decided I don't want to have operated on, so I'm not pushing the envelope any further. But these guys do a great job. They have Hockey with Heart is the umbrella that they utilize for their charitable work. They collect food and canned goods and whatnot at Christmas time. They're involved in all kinds of different kinds of charitable events. They do a great job. Brent Smith, who was a Maple Leaf trainer, is very much involved in it as well. You would know him, of course. And Brad Fletcher do a great job. They have teamed up now with Hockey Helps the Homeless. They're involved with a hockey tournament where a lot of alumni members, not only from the Leafs, but from the National Hockey League, are involved playing on these teams. And they contacted me and said, would you like to maybe be a part of a small little gathering after the event on the 14th that they're having up at Angus Glen Arena? And I said, yeah, that'd be kind of nice. We maybe can raise a couple of bucks. And then it began to snowball. And they said, well, let's do a roast. I said, okay. So, well, we'll do that. There's 100 people coming with this thing. Well, then all of a sudden, why don't we open it up? And they have, and it's going to be at Angus Glen Arena, and tickets are going very nicely. And you can purchase them by going to hockeywithheart.ca, and they will send you off to wherever you need to go. So we've got Jesse Ralph, Jim Ralph's son, who is a stand-up comedian who is just terrific. He's going to MC it. We've got a bunch of yahoos who are going to show up, including 4 Bowen boys who I'm sure will be very nice to me, or they'll be taken out of the will for whatever is left. And we'll see how it all works out. But it should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Who scares you more? Which Ralph? Is it Jim or Jesse?
Oh, no, it's got to be Jim. No. Yeah, he knows way too much. Way too much. Way too much. It should be a lot of fun. One of the great lines, and it's funny, we've been together for 29 years, and we laugh at one another every once in a while when they never come up to Ralphie or me and say, oh, that was a great bit of analysis, Ralphie, that you made on that goal that was scored the other night. That's never what's brought up. It's you two fools had me laughing about some stupid thing that you were doing. And I said, well, they're going to have a roast for me, but we roast each other just about every night on the air. So what the hell's the difference? And one of the best ones, I have to admit, we were in Montreal, and they had feted out Jean Béliveau and Mrs. Béliveau to center ice, and they were celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary. And Ralphie turned to me and said, well, there's a mark we're never going to make, having been married 5 times between the two of us.
Yeah, I think your chances of that have sailed.
Nah, that ship has sailed. That's gone. That's done.
Oh, shit.
That's awesome stuff, man. Hey, I've told you before, it was a pleasure working with you. We're going to see you around the rink continuing this year, and let's hope for greener pastures for this Maple Leafs team. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, anytime, boys. Good being with you. All the best, Jay. And Nikki, always fun to see you around the rink. You got to stick your head up once in a while there, big boy, and come up and say hello. Nick's there all the time.
Oh shit, I should. If I'm ever there, I'm pretty cozy in the alumni box.
No kidding. Yeah. What do you arm wrestle Lou Franceschetti for a drink or what?
No, it's usually trying to get my brother to stop talking about trucks and cattle with Wendell Clark.
One quick thing, if we have time, guys. One of the best trips, and whenever we went out west, Les Clark, Wendell's dad, would come up and sit with Harry and I, and we would get about an hour and a half during the pregame skate the plight of the Canadian farmer. How things were going so badly. This was costing this, and this was tough there, and tariffs here, and everything else. Then we'd walk out into the parking lot, and Les would have the biggest, newest pickup truck with every bit of new stuff on it. And I would walk up. I said, Les, it can't be going that bad. Can't be going that bad.
Hey, yeah, we do the same thing out here too. Funny, the sky's always falling, but they always got a new place in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good for them.
We need
Good
them.
for them. God bless them all.
Exactly.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, guys.
Take care. There's Joe Bowen, one of the very best. Again, it was a blast working with him for a couple of years. Him and Ralphie together and separately are hilarious, man. They make it fun to be there and do the job and listen to the game. Like I love listening to them on the radio when I can too.
I know it reminds me of last year. My kid was in a lacrosse league that we were traveling all over Hell's Half Acre and had to watch or listen to a lot of the games on the radio, and it was just nice. I'm like, oh, good. Just take in Bonesy and Ralphie here. It's they're good at what they do. Obviously, the amount of runway they've had to perfect their craft, they've done well with it, man. They're legends. Kind of sad when inevitably those types of things come to an end. And with him, this is his last season, and who knows, maybe the Leafs can do something special for him.
How do you replace Joe Bowen? You don't. I don't know what that search looks like, but it better be a damn good search. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Like you're replacing a legend who has been there for 45 years. The other thing I would say, I'd love to see Joe call one more game on TV too, but to replace a man of that stature, it's going to be a difficult find.
Yeah, hopefully they don't drop the ball and just do some DEI, someone who doesn't deserve it. Like you got to search far and wide for someone who is anywhere close to capable of putting some semblance of a career together that even comes close to his, and an iconic sound. There's a lot of things that we'd have to get right to replace him, and I don't think it's an easy task. But hopefully they don't screw it up. I'll tell you that. It's annoying when they wreck something like that. Have an opportunity to take their time and get it right, and they don't. Hopefully that's not one of the cases.
You need a great sense of humor for that job specifically, and Joe and Jim have it. You heard the way he answered my question about what gives him hope for a Maple Leafs Stanley Cup send-off. Like that is Joe to a nutshell, man. That guy has seen some shit in the last 45 years. Like just haven't even sniffed Lord Stanley. I think it'd be very poetic if he goes out on top, man. I still got hope. Go Leafs, go.
As we open the show talking about other than the basement of the standings, but no, I mean, hell, if you want to get all Illuminati on it, the Jays this year, no one liked their beginning of the season. Everyone was talking down about them. There was nothing to suggest they were going to be what they are, and that is team sports. Things come together sometimes, chemistry, fate, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a whole bunch of ingredients that come together and sometimes make things happen. In this market, man, why not have the faith still? Leafs fans get ripped on for bailing on their team too fast, for being too hardcore, for thinking every year is going to be their year. It's everything and anything. So why not be the positive and still have hope that these guys can pull it together again? So glad it's the last day of October. We can put this month behind us. I think there's a lot of growing and a lot of things to happen. And hopefully they're coming down the barrel sooner here.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have a big announcement, by the way, coming up next Tuesday via our friends over at Sick Kids. And as you guys know, our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids. So stay tuned for that coming up on Tuesday. But we got 3 Super Chats to get to here, starting with Tammy saying, Happy Halloween, Leafs Nation squad. Happy Halloween to you as well, Tammy. Maxentius Decimus writes in, can we take Michelli out of the lineup yet. That's going to be a curious conversation. If Sammy Blais replicates what he did the other night in Philadelphia, got a conversation to be had, but we'll see what happens here with Steven Lorentz as well. And Jose Duarte, we don't normally call out specific amounts on super chats, but 50 bones. Really appreciate that, Jose.
Yo,
Joe Bowen is the best. So thank you, Jose, for that super chat.
Jose, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, Bones is the best. You can see that interview we just talking. It could just go on for an hour. Like, how many times do you think he's had a drink in front of him at a table with a bunch of hockey type of people, and it just goes deep, deep into the night? You could tell it's not hard to do, and there's only special types of people that are built that way. He's one of them too. So thank you for that super chat, and thanks to Bonesy for joining us in his final farewell season.
So just a last little blurb on this game in Philadelphia. I think the Leafs practice later on. They had the day completely off yesterday. Would you, and I was listening to that Spitn Chicklets interview, was that like a floor-it day for you in your career where you're just not playing well as a team? And these guys are built differently. You talk about that in the Chicklets interview too, but you think that's a floor-it day in Philadelphia, man?
I doubt it. Maybe floor it like we're going to order extra room service and play our Xbox till late in the night. Just kidding. No, I don't know. What Nick's referring to is us deciding that the best way in like 2006 or something, the best way to climb out of a 5-game losing streak is to all go out till all hours of the night and play the game the next day. Guilty is what they used to call it. But I wouldn't recommend it. Hopefully they got other things on their plate. I hope that they I just hope that they get pissed off and reach down and find their pride, and anybody, all of them preferably decide that enough is enough, and they're going to go put the hammer down, like literally, and impose their will on this game and just blow the doors off the Philadelphia Flyers. Would be fantastic. A great way to cap off a dog shit month. And we could see the light at the end of the tunnel and see them start putting the pieces together and showing that they're a well-rounded team with a lot of the bases covered that you need to be a successful team in the league. I really hope that November holds that.
What's the playing guilty equivalent in 2025? Too much pizza? Pop?
That's what I said. Staying up too late playing Call of Duty.
Fuck, man. Anyways, we
not having a cute accessory with your game day outfit. That's guilty.
That was my favorite part of your convo. You guys broke down the wardrobe of some of these dudes in the league, and I thought actually Jans made a really good point, man, about like what that does. And I thought yeah, we're giving away too much to the interview. Go check it out. But again, the key storylines in this game, Laughton, we think it's unlikely he's going to play. Could Tanev return? Can Nylander play? Like I said this yesterday, Rosie. If Willie doesn't go in this game, I start to get concerned. Like, what's going on here, right?
Yeah, you just wonder, like, what's the benchmark and what's the threshold to play through? I mean, we're as guilty as anyone for saying these games don't really matter. Like, talk to me in the spring. So if he misses another game, does that mean like he's got some injury that's going to nag him all year? Or is he just like saying, nah, another couple days would do good on these bumps and bruises, and I think might as well be 100% than 95%. It could mean that as well. You know, I don't know how much value they're putting into these games in this time of the season. To be honest, all I know is what I watch on TV when they're playing, and it doesn't look like they put a whole hell of a lot of value in it, to be honest. But I want Willie healthy. I don't know. It's just so annoying from this side of it, trying to speculate on the injuries when like we don't know anything about anyone. Austin Matthews, that's a whole other discussion. Like, when's Lott's going to be ready? I guess we'll know. Is Nylander even playing? Like, it kind of sucks. Joseph Woll, what is the story? Is he ready to rock? Does he feel good? Are we going to see him soon? Nothing but question marks. So I have no information. No one's privy to anything. They are masters at keeping things close to their vest, and all we have left is to speculate on things. So nonetheless, hopefully all those guys I just mentioned are very close to being healthy.
I'm going to write a book in 35, 40 years from now, and it's just going to be stories about guys who got hurt and just went into the abyss, and we never found out what happened. And there's going to be a list of 60. There's going to be 65 chapters in that book. And I'm going to be like, this guy missed game 7 of round 2, and we had no clue why. 88 years later, we still have no clue why. Like, that's how it's going to go in the book.
I saw a thing on like Danny Heatley's hockey DB, and back-to-back years, 50 goal scorer, first overall, I think, second overall, 50 and 50, and like back in the day in the early 2000s, that was when they were having trouble scoring. The goalies were massive. They had to open up the game with obstruction, everything. Like 50 goals was a wow. Did it back-to-back years, and then it's just like blink, 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 and someone commented Austin Matthews' trajectory, which is just horrifying to think, and I do not subscribe to that whatsoever. But the longer that he doesn't look dynamic, when we know he's capable of being dynamic, the louder that sentiment of what's going on with Austin Matthews and where is he headed and what can we expect is going to go on. I, for one, hope that the offense can the doors can open and he can just pop off with just a game that just makes us just a rubber stamp of F you. This is still who I am, and we can all stop this conversation would be my preference.
Amen. I think we have one of these segments a year, and we put it out yesterday. What's up with Austin Matthews? That was the designated day yesterday after that performance in Columbus. I just had enough. I was like, you know what? This segment's going up. And a big conversation stemmed from that on social media. But amen to that, Rosie. It's time now for the last call, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION. NATION, must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit ConnexOntario.ca. Anywhere you want to go with this, whether it's a Vladdy bomb, I'm more text play for me tomorrow. I know there's this degenerative gambler on social media that I like to fade. Trent Atya, I think, is his handle. Me and Zach fade this guy all the time. He always uses that. It's a mortal vortex. It's a mortal vortex for me that the Leafs beat the Philadelphia Flyers tomorrow. I'm very confident in that. So I'm playing the Leafs tomorrow against Philly.
I like that too. I'm going to play the puck line just to juicy juice or tin it up. I don't care if it's an empty netter or if they blow the doors off of them. They need a response. Again, I'm on board with following the record in past years, and like you say, they're like 9-1 or something crazy. They seem to have their way with the organization. So I think all things line up to a good performance, and hopefully I could see Stoli just being just a maniac too, just like kicking everything aside and giving us one of those
former Flyer.
Games that exactly his old organization too, that would follow a trend. So love it. I'm going to hammer the Leafs, which I honestly don't normally do, on the puck line. So let's make some money.
It will be, by the way, the front end of a back-to-back for Philadelphia. Dan Vidar, I would expect, plays Sunday. He has been on fire because they play Calgary. So I think it'll be Samuel Ersson is my prognostication. I don't care who it is, man. They got to find a way. The 3 meetings last year, 3-2, 3-2, 7-2 in the final meeting of the season between the Leafs and the Flyers. So Rosie, excellent stuff. Hope you enjoy the weekend. Happy Halloween. And, man, I just hope to be in a very positive mood about Toronto sports on Monday. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want bad juju to finish off this show. I want to be in a great mood on Monday for once. I fucking hate Mondays. You know this. Monday, if I'm smiling, things are good in life. Okay?
Lots of reason and lots of opportunity. I think I feel good about the perspective of you having a good Monday, man. Let's make it happen. Can't wait to see it.
Let's go Blue Jays. Final words here on the podcast today. Thank you to Joe Bowen for stopping by at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit leafsnation.com. Should mention as well, coming up on Monday, we got TSN's James Duthie dropping by the show. So we'll catch up with Duthie coming up on Monday. Thank you to producer Vic. For Jay Rosehill, I'm Nick Alberga. Have a great weekend, and let's go Blue Jays. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.